Hi guys, I'm Joy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I would change up the scenery, so I'm recording this outside. Hopefully with my mini mic here. Isn't it so cute? Hopefully with my mini mic here you guys can hear me alright. So it's about that time of year where it's time for back to school. I have been out of college for 2 years now, but I feel like college was a huge learning experience for me, and I have learned a lot throughout my course of life on what I would do if I did get that opportunity to go back to school again, and I've reflected on things that have also worked well for me. Going to college is definitely a very transitional time, and it's scary. I think change is scary for a lot of people. I love to talk about it on my channel because it used to be very intimidating but also exciting to me, and it still is. So I figured I would just talk about my personal experience going to college and give some tips and advice on things I feel like worked well for me in the long run. So to start this video off, let's discuss how to get to know people. For me, this was always a little bit tricky to do because I went to a very big school and literally no one from my high school went there. I didn't know anyone that was going to be in my classes. I chose random roommates, and I grew up being definitely a little bit more on the shy side, so just going up to people and making random conversation was definitely new to me, but I really tried to push myself to do that as much as possible. I feel like the best way to get to know someone new is just to be yourself, ask them a bunch of questions because people love talking about themselves, and it kind of creates this bond of like, oh, this person's actually interested in getting to know me. And I wasn't afraid to open up to people and tell them that I was nervous for school or that I didn't know anyone else there. I always tried to be honest with how I was feeling at the time, and I think that helped me bond with certain people. Whether it's someone sitting next to you in class, I feel like all freshmen are in the same boat, and so it's always nice when someone next to you turns to you and starts making random conversation. I would do that in my classes, and sometimes people would do that to me, and I'm still friends with people I did that with to this day. I feel like meeting people is just a big part of the college experience, so definitely don't hold yourself back from participating in new activities that maybe your dorm is having, or going to different events. I feel like this just overlaps with a lot of things I'm going to be talking about today. My biggest piece of advice regarding friendships is just to keep talking to as many people as you can and put yourself out there as much as possible. In regards to figuring out what you want to do, a lot of people go into college undecided, and even if you're not, I think it's extremely important to get as involved as you can in certain school activities or clubs or hobbies. Go to your club fair, go to your involvement fair. For me, I joined 3 or 4 clubs as a freshman. I don't really remember, but that was the biggest way that I was able to socialize with people that I found were most similar to me. I joined a film club, so I got to talk to people that also loved movies. I joined the student television network, so I got hands-on experience, in addition to the experience I was going to get in my major. If you're going to a big school and maybe your major is a bit broad, these types of clubs and activities is the perfect way for you to try out different things. Even if I didn't know at the time that film was something I wanted to pursue, it was still something I was interested in and wanted to learn more about production, but I wasn't going to get that experience in class as a freshman. So I think that was extremely helpful in putting me on the right path in college. So now in terms of your degree and schoolwork itself and the actual education. College is definitely a different experience for everyone based off of your major. People always told me get prepared to pull all-nighters all the time. For me, that wasn't really the case because my major was very much project-based, and I definitely still had exams. However, they weren't the types of exams that I had to cram all night for and not sleep over. I feel like I was more tested on things that came relatively naturally to me, and I definitely did study. I did study a lot, but I knew how to manage my time, so I didn't have to pull all-nighters. time management is definitely the biggest skill you will learn in college. So definitely don't be afraid that your classes are gonna be insanely hard out of your mind. I'm sure everyone's gonna have difficult classes at some point, no matter what your major is. But one thing you can control is how you manage your time. I've always been the type of person who likes to get ahead of my work as much as possible. I think that's definitely beneficial in college. It's great to be partying in college. That's also a big part of the college experience. However, maybe don't be partying on a weeknight Wednesday till 2 in the morning when you have a really big exam Thursday at 8 a.m. Now moving on to the roommate situation. For me, I just went the random roommate route because I just thought let's leave it up to fate. And I got put in a forced triple with 2 girls who requested to room together. Was this awkward? A little bit. However, we were all definitely super friendly our freshman year and we did hang out quite a bit. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I ended up making great friends outside of my dorm and living with them the following years. Just a reminder, you do not have to be best friends with your freshman year roommates or your freshman year floor. They were great girls that I got to meet. I'm glad I got to know them and I'm glad that we got to make these memories together. However, we were just very different people. They weren't necessarily going to be interested in all the same things I was interested in doing, and I think in the beginning of freshman year, because I didn't have that many friends, I just wanted to stick with them. That was probably the one mistake I made. It was if I wanted to do something and they didn't, I just sort of went along with them not wanting to do it. However, it could have been something I could have totally done by myself. That's another big thing that you have to get used to in college. You're going to have to get used to doing a lot of things alone, and that was something new to me for sure. So definitely don't force yourself to be best friends with every person you meet, the person you live with, whatever. You just have to get along. Just roll with what feels the best for you. If you feel like you're not supposed to be best friends for life with your roommate, then you don't have to be. But if you do feel like they're your best friends, then great, keep hanging out with them. Yay! As much as you can prepare for college, I feel like there's just so many things I learned while I was there and while I was on campus. I do think it's so important to take advantage of the type of campus you do have. Whether your classes have extra help hours, or there's a nice library to study in, or you have greenery on your campus, definitely take advantage of that because those are years you're not going to get back. I really loved living so closely with all of my best friends. I really miss just doing homework and studying and hanging out outside the buildings on the green. Of course, there were definitely those nights where I was up late working hard or felt lonely, and it was a hard adjustment. I moved away from my family and I really missed them. But I also really miss the times where I would just hang out with friends and we would go get acai bowls, or when we went to our first party. I think there's definitely a balance in terms of having fun and working hard in college. As long as you found a way to balance the having fun part and working hard part, I think college can be a really enjoyable experience and a great time to learn a lot of lessons about yourself and about life. The biggest things that I wish I didn't do was compare myself to others or be really harsh on myself. Once I learned how to balance working hard and still having important goals and staying motivated with also just having fun and enjoying the experience, that's when I really started to love college. If any of you guys are going back to school or starting high school or college or whatever it may be, I wish you good luck. I hope that hearing some of my experience might have been comforting or helpful to hear, and let me know if you guys are interested in these more chatty type of videos. I'll be back next week with a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!